Students from across the world who are preparing for IELTS attend these sessions and ask me questions related to IELTS, and I try my level best to answer them. And this is how we have these sessions every week. Got it?
Every week you have subject.
We don't have a specific subject during these sessions. All I do is I try my best to
Can
answer questions.
Can I research or prepare a paragraph and discuss about? Can I say like that, like this?
Definitely. If you'd like to just speak and ask me how well you speak, yes, go on.
Yes. For now?
Yes. Sure.
I am not ready for now, but
That's okay.
if
Take
I
your time.
try for the next day or another time, I
Definitely.
can.
So, Nazar, can you just tell us where are you from exactly? From which part of the world?
Yes.
My question is, from which part of the
Yes.
world you are?
Which part?
From which country?
For education.
I'm
This
talking about your location. From which country are you attending this session? If you don't mind sharing.
which country?
Yeah.
Yes, my country.
Yeah. If you don't mind.
Yes, my I'm in Kurdistan.
Sorry?
Kurdistan region, Iraq. I'm in Kurdistan region, Iraq.
Iraq, from Iraq. Okay, got it. So, welcome to our session. And next time when you connect, do have something prepared for us so you can share it with us.
Yes. If I preparing a subject, I can read or discuss about.
Yes,
Not
definitely you can.
not yes.
All right, so moving on to Bonu, Chirag, and Nikki. How are you guys?
Yes.
Hello.
How are you, dear?
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Great, thanks. And you?
I'm doing great. What about you? How's your preparation going on?
It's all good. And I'm a teacher now.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, what do you teach?
I wrote to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've written to you recently. I guess today I wrote to you, and from different account, Telegram
Yes, yes,
account.
yes, yes.
So
I do
you
remember that.
didn't know me.
Yeah. So,
You remember me?
the username is Symphony.
So yeah, your memory is very perfect.
Yep.
So I have taught my students grammar for 5 months, and now it's time one of them to turn to IELTS introduction group. And now I'm a bit confused about how to start this.
Okay.
Because I've already forgotten about what IELTS is. And it took me like long time. Like I started preparing for IELTS about 5 years ago, and then I prepared myself. So I don't know how to start it because there's no any. I haven't experienced the first time starting this.
I got you.
Now I have, yeah. So give me some hints.
Definitely. Let's do one thing. Let me give you a quick overview on what you should be doing as a teacher. Right. Let me share my screen. Let me know once it is visible.
Okay.
I think it should be visible.
Yeah, yeah. I can see this.
Yeah. And 1 second. Yeah. So it should be centered. Can you see it clear? Can you guys clearly see the screen now?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, perfect.
it's visible.
So I'll try my best to simplify these things. And when I teach my students, I have to take at least a week to explain how the IELTS listening module works, the reading 1 week, for speaking at least a week to help them understand and practice the question types. And of course, for writing task, it takes at least 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the student's caliber. So it depends on what your student's level is. So if I have a student who does not know how to read well, does not understands the English language, I would start with reading. I wouldn't start with listening, writing, or speaking, because reading is the slowest module of all. During the examination, yes, you will be under a time limit where you have to clear everything under an hour. You have to you have to solve 3 sections under an hour. But when we are solving or when we are helping students, we can start with reading and we can take as much time as we want. We can explain paragraphs one by one, we can explain vocabulary, and we can go as slow as possible so that the students can understand this level. However, if the student is in a rush, I would recommend that you should start with writing task, and this only applies to students who know the language, who understands when they listen or read the language. Then we can start with writing task. Is the basics clear how you should start this curriculum?
Yes, yes.
All right. Speaking, of course, is a skill that takes years and years to develop and master, and it is just a set of rules and habits that we follow. Whenever we are talking about either of these modules, we are talking about grammar in general. If we understand the basics of grammar, only then we can understand what these modules are. Only understanding how the module works in terms of IELTS wouldn't help anyone score any bands. It's all about communication skills. And these 4 are various skills used to test a person's caliber in terms of the English language. Is this clear so far?
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yes, clear. Sir, I have one question.
Yes, man.
Yeah, sir. Sir, when I speak in English, sir, sometimes I am hesitate to speak. I am right or not. That's why, some type of confidence. My confidence level is too low when I speak in English.
Okay, so let's address the speaking module. I would say that speaking is one of the skills that takes a couple of months or even years to master. And in order to become fluent and confident in speaking, you should start consuming more of listening. So this is how these modules are connected. The more you listen, the more you'll understand how to speak, because you'll have a reference of how to convey your message. Okay, I'll be muting someone. Just need to be
Okay.
sure who that person is. I think it's Bodo. Yeah. No, it's not Bono. It's Nasdar. Yeah. Done. So, the more we listen, the more we have the understanding of how to speak. We just need to follow instructions. We just need to follow certain transcript, or you can say dialogue. When you listen to people, try to mimic it. That is a technique called shadowing. So you just need to watch a web series or something like that and follow one particular character, and every time they speak something, make sure that you repeat their dialogues. So this is called shadowing. So you're listening to someone, you're repeating the same thing that they are saying, and eventually you will get the hang of how to communicate during speaking. Got it? So the more you listen, the easier it gets to speak. So speaking and listening is connected. We can learn pronunciation, we can learn fluency, even accents. I've seen many Korean people. You guys have heard about this K-pop thing. So I was listening to something on the internet, and one of them said that he used to constantly follow one particular character from Friends, and he watched the entire season, all the seasons, and every time this character speaks, he repeats the same thing. And that is how he learned with accent, learned the English language with accent. This is something that even
Yes,
I
sir.
followed many years ago.
Yes, sir, these things helped me a lot because when I saw Lucifer, the Hell of the King, it's helped me a lot. Seriously, sir.
True. And try your best to go slow. It's not about finishing these episodes. Try to learn from these episodes. So repeat a couple of episodes more than often. So select the favorite ones, watch it a couple of times, try to speak with them. All right. Initially go slow. Don't rush it out. All right. So back to Bonu. So as I said, start with reading, and of course reading has 60 minutes for the actual test, 40 questions. There are 3 sections for academics, and again 3 sections but divided in several parts in general reading. These are all the types of questions which you need to explain them individually. And when it comes to the reading module, vocabulary is the most important thing. If you understand vocabulary, you can understand how to answer these questions. And it doesn't matter which strategy you follow, your strategy should help the student to reach the answer at the quickest possible with the highest number of accuracy, highest percentage of accuracy. Got it? You can follow any techniques, any strategies. You can find it on YouTube, you can find it on many different platforms. Is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Right. And help students understand that strategies will only help them to reach the answer, or you can say the location of the answer quicker. But in order to find the exact answer, you need to understand the vocabulary. There is no other way. There is no shortcut. There is no strategy, no technique that can help students without understanding the vocabs. And that's it about reading. It doesn't need to be too complicated. These are the things that a student should know, and while ensuring that they are following the instructions. Some answers will require that you write one word, other answers can require you to just write 2 words exactly, or maybe not more than 3 words. There are different instructions. When you go through the passages, you need to simultaneously explain these things. Is reading so far clear?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's jump on to writing task. So writing task is one of the lengthiest portions to cover because there are many aspects apart from the task itself. We'll start with task 2 because it is the longest. We have to cover an essay. For task 1, there is report writing or a letter, depends on the student. If they are choosing academic training, they will have to write a report. If it is general training, they have to write a letter. We'll start with the essay part. As I said, apart from the question types, there are so many things that you need to cover, starting from the paragraph structure, starting from the question types, starting from idea generation. You need to explain how to write different passages when the question changes. You need to explain which vocabulary to use where. So it's kind of intricate, but at the same time it's just common sense. Once you explain how these things works, they can do it by themselves. For instance, if you understand these questions, these are all the questions that are usually asked. And if you explain these questions exactly how it works with the appropriate structure, they can understand hybrid essays. And many times hybrid essays are asked, if you have noticed. Anyone who is not sure in terms of these questions, what structure to follow? Because structures are the easiest part. You just need to understand the structure, repeat it a couple of times, and that's it. Anyone who would like to understand these structures in detail, or else we'll go ahead.
Sir, I have a confusion when I write to you discuss both of you with your opinion. Sometimes I confuse because both our opinions is too right, but I certainly I am too confused. Which is the best and which is very suitable for me for writing.
Okay. See, the thing is, when it comes to this question type, this is how the question is written. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Right? So when it comes to these question types, you need to make sure that you explain view 1 in body paragraph 1, your view 2 in body paragraph 2. These things are mandatory, and simultaneously you need to be very sure of which view that you are supporting. Before you even start writing your essay, even before you write your introduction, you should know which view you are supporting. And for this particular question type, view 1 can be correct, or view 2 can be correct, or you can also say that both the views are correct. All 3 options are right. I'm repeating once again. So for opinion paragraph, You can say that view 1 is correct. You can go with anything. It's not mandatory that you have to select one view only or the other view only. It's okay if you select both the views. For instance, let me give you a simple question. Some people say that, let me edit here. This is one of the easiest questions. Some people say that television, I'm writing it in a short form, television is good for children. Others argue that it is not. Discuss both views, give your opinion. This is how the question is asked. So there are people who would say that yes, television should be shown to children. It's good for children. They can learn some things. Others say that they should be kept away as far as possible. Both the views are correct. And both the views individually are also correct, and together also combined, you can say that yes, children should be allowed to watch television, but they should be monitored by either their parents or a particular guardian who is at least 18 years of age. So they will know exactly what content is appropriate for their age group.
When you say, sir, some people is see that, yeah, both views are good. If children view the television, they knew lot of things about general knowledge and many more things. But second one is when children give more time to television, they will not live a happily life, and they will not prefer to play outside, and there is the disadvantage of things.
True.
How I considered.
I got your point. See, the thing is, whenever you are speculating, when you are trying to answer some things, try to use the modal verb will as less as possible, because whenever you say will, that means you are taking a guarantee that it will affect someone's life. So you should use a modal verb will. Sorry, not will. You can use may or could. So this shows probability. Instead of saying that it will happen, you can simply say that it might happen or could happen.
May this thing happen. They will not play. May they not play outside.
You can say
that's
that
why
this may affect their education, instead of saying it will affect their education. Correct?
Oh, it's a possibility, not a confirmation.
Yeah, we are not giving a guarantee that it will happen. We are just saying that it might happen. Correct? So are you clear with this structure now? Discuss both views, give your opinion.
Sure.
So structures, and I think I already mentioned this during the text message, Bonu, that make sure that you stick to the rubrics when it comes to the speaking and writing task, and this is what I meant. Right.
I got you.
And let me quickly show you how to pull it up.
Teacher, I got a question. Can I ask you about discussion essays? I mean, this type of.
Yes, definitely.
I joined later, that's why I missed some of the part of it, but I have some confusion. Let's say it's confusion because we have different approaches when it comes to how we can write these essays, right? So in discussion essays, we have like discuss both views and give your opinion. I have watched some videos like Chris Pell on YouTube. He said, when it comes to giving your opinion, you should firstly you can agree for the first part and disagree to the another part. But I have seen some other videos, you can give your opinion in the conclusion part, just a separate opinions. If you have some in the personal opinion, we can have our conclusion. Or we can have third main body paragraph, like we can, I mean, I would say.
What you're saying is correct.
Right, different, yeah. But what I think, which one is true? Just, I mean, we should agree or disagree to some views, or we should give our separate opinion.
Okay, let me explain this by showing you the rubrics directly from British Council as well as
Hmm?
I'll go to our website. Can you see it? It's visible, right? Is this visible?
Yep,
All right.
it is.
So on our website, just go to resources, scroll down, click on don't click, just hover over extra resources, and you should be able to see IELTS rubrics. These are the public band descriptors. So if I click on this, you should be able to see this PDF. This is a 3-page PDF, and it covers the aspects of speaking, writing task 1, that is our report or letter, and here comes our task 2, our essay writing, right? So I want to show you something over here. Here it says uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately, and this is shown
Uh-huh.
at band 8 and above. So I'm not saying that at 9 band this is not applicable, this is applicable, but at 9 band they are focusing on other things. But if you want to score good bands, it clearly says that you should use paragraphs appropriately. So as someone mentioned, yes, you can write your opinion in your conclusion, but conclusion is meant to share your final conclusion, not your opinion. And if you add another paragraph, a third body paragraph, it means that you are giving a specific location so that you can clearly share your opinion without confusing it with other things.
Hmm.
Clear? So adding an extra paragraph is
Yeah.
good for you.
Hmm. But what about if the time will be issue, that we can have like certain paragraph sometimes, I mean, depending on how we can write it, but
I got your point.
some people say yeah.
What you're trying to say is if we add one more paragraph, it will take us more time to complete this, but actually this is not true.
Yeah.
When you already know that you are going to add an extra paragraph for opinion, so the number of words written over here should reduce. So you're writing less in paragraph 1 and 2, and you are replacing or substituting those words in a separate paragraph where you're sharing your opinion. So it will not take more time, it will take the same number of time, and anyway the total should be more than 250 words. So I've seen many students, when they add a third paragraph, their essay goes from somewhat around 280 words to directly 350 words just because they add a new paragraph. This should not happen. Clear?
But in my exam, it was a discussion essay. I wrote my opinion in conclusion.
With conclusion.
Yes. Yeah, because I learned in that way and still was thinking about, okay, just it was true, but it's the time, I mean, I did what I could, that's it.
You did the best you could with what you had.
Yeah.
No worries. See, the thing is, it's not wrong to add your opinion here, but just think logically. You're already getting more bands for paragraphing. Why not?
Yeah, okay, got it, yes.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
Alright. So, rubrics, I'll go back to the previous PDF. Yeah, I think it should be visible. Is it visible?
Yes, we can see it.
Alright, perfect. So, all of you, whenever you're accessing this PDF, just make sure that you focus more on 5, 6, 7, and that's it. Don't think too much about 4, 3, 2, 1, or don't think too much about 8 and 9, because 8 and 9 is all pat on the back. Like, great, you did a great job, that's it. But where they've actually shared what needs to be done is over here, 5, 6, and 7. And below 5 is all common sense, so you don't need to delve much deeper into it. Yes, you need to go through it, read it and understand it, but the secret sauce is in 5, 6 and 7. Is it clear?
It is.
All right, perfect. So going back to the mind map. So we are done with writing task 2. Report, of course, as I said, for academic training students, they will have a report of these things, and a mixture of these 4 is called as hybrid. Bar chart, pie chart, I made a mistake over here, it is line graph, table, and a mixture of these 4 or any 2 of them is called a hybrid. Then comes flowchart, diagram, map, and process. So when it comes to this thing, always start with a table, because if you remember your childhood, we used to go to these computer classes. Our teachers forced us and took us to computer classes, and the first thing that they taught was Excel, Microsoft Excel. And after we create a table where we add our friends' names and we add all their marks and stuff, of course we added more marks or assigned more marks to our best friends and less marks to our enemies, so on and so forth. So after completing this part, we were asked to go to insert option and insert these charts, if you remember, bar chart, pie chart, and lie chart. So it all initiated from the table chart. So table chart is the first one you need to understand. Then comes bar, then comes pie, then you can teach them line chart. A quick tip for bar chart is always ask your students to convert bar charts to line charts. All you need to do is draw a line on top of the bars. It will make more sense. You can clearly see the trends. All right. And different teachers teach these things with different methods, different words, but the most accurate answers are considered better rather than showcasing with different vocabs with incorrect structure. Grammar and appropriate vocabulary is more important. So try your best to teach them precision writing rather than extending it too much with fancy words. All right. As we are already here, we'll cover the letter types as well. These are the types of letters that are asked for general training students who are either planning to work abroad in a native English speaking country, or they are just going there to get a PR, stay with their spouse, or XYZ reasons. So request, complaint, condolence, appreciation, advice, feedback, suggestions, or apology. And if you want anything more knowledge and detail about these things, drop me a DM. I'll send you the file. Right. The most important thing is the tone, because if you cannot differentiate between a personal letter, semi-formal letter, and a formal letter, it doesn't matter what content you write, you will still get a lower band score. For instance, a personal letter is sent to a friend, so we can use brother and stuff like that in your letter writing. We write semi-formal letters to people at our similar authority or similar stage, similar level, so our peers, so our colleagues, maybe our neighbors. Formal letters are of course for government officials, your boss, people at higher authorities. You can write formal letters. So in these two things you can use contractions, and in formal letters you cannot use contractions. Contractions means can't, won't, and all these things. Right. I do remember this session when one of the students, I'm not sure from where this person was, but this person asked me, can I say wanna, gonna, let me, give me? So no, you cannot. It is called informal. It doesn't even come under these categories. All right. So that's that about writing tasks.
So I got a question
Yes, sir.
with letters.
Mhm.
In here we have several exams in Uzbekistan. It's called month level, basically.
Sorry, what is that called?
Month level.
Okay, I'm not sure what
It was it was Sefer. It is another name of the exam. I mean, they how to say localize the exam, the Sefer exam. Kind of they take some of the tests and change some questions. Yeah. I mean, in writing section we have to write in for task 1 letters, just the general training test. I have seen some lessons. If the letter is for friend, it is informal. But in other cases, it is formal. What do you think about that?
Okay, so when you refer to things as informal, it is called a WhatsApp language, or you can say social media language. That is what we call as informal language, where we are encouraged to use contractions to such an extent that instead of writing the word you, we simply write you. That is informal. So we'll never see
Yeah.
a test where these things are encouraged. So informal, yes, there are people who call it informal. I personally don't call it informal because I just explained why it is called informal, and you will never see something like that in an exam, at least a language test.
Yep.
Right?
It is
So
still language test,
I
by the
have
way.
an example in my mind. So informal, not recommended, but I'll simply show you. You are a QT. So yeah, that's informal. Right? Anyway,
Yeah, that's too informal, but is it basically called informal?
yeah,
You know, how say it, the semi-formal. That means just we mix things, right? Just
mixture of
you
formal
can.
as well as this, but you also make sure that you are respectful, and depending on the context you maintain a good tone. For instance, if it is a condolence letter, you need to ensure that you don't hurt someone's feelings by being too formal. You need to be semi
Mhm.
formal even though it is your boss. Correct.
Okay. Yep.
So moving on to the
I got
next
it.
module, speaking, I'll simply give you a quick tip. For part 1, make sure that students speak at least 2 to 3 sentences, and for part 3, they at least speak 5 to 6 sentences if they are short, but if they are complex or compound sentences, 4 or 5 sentences should suffice. Suffice means sufficient, should be sufficient. Correct? That's a simple thing. And part 2, you of course know, you get 1 minute of preparation time, you're supposed to speak for 2 minutes, and that's it. This is the easiest section of all 4. You just need to show your ability to speak. Rubrics does change slightly because we have pronunciation over here instead of task response and task achievement. Unlike the writing task, we have fluency and coherence instead of cohesion and coherence. The remaining 2 are exactly the same: grammatical range and accuracy, and lexical resources. One quick tip for grammar: it's not about fancy grammar, it's about accurate grammar and a range of grammar. So the more accurately you can convey your messages through oral or written speech, the better it is for IELTS. And of course, a range of simple, compound, complex, making sure that your tenses are accurate and intact without making any silly errors, you can score more. There are other aspects as well, but these are the basic things, or you can say the fundamental ones. And when it comes to lexical resources, I have personally seen this from my experience, that whenever I tell students that they should improve their vocabulary, they jump onto fancy words and they make it more fancier. So that is not how you improve your bands. When it comes to vocabulary, there is 50% words that are related to topic. So if I change the topic from, let's say, traveling to technology, the complete word set changes. For instance, for traveling, we might use words like hiking, swimming, adventure, paragliding. There are many other things. But when we switch to technology, the whole set of words change. So this is still 50%, knowing topic related words. And then comes the other 50%, for instance, words like repercussion, C2 level words like conscientious. These words help you to score more in lexical resources, and an in-depth detail is shared on the public band descriptor PDF. And a final note for speaking: students should be encouraged to use idioms. And if you guys are checking the Telegram channel, I just shared an entire PDF of idiomatic language and vocabulary for different situations. Did you guys check that message? Check that PDF? I wrote a tag as updated PDF because I added phonetics as well.
Yes.
You saw it, Nikki, right?
Yes, sir.
Dhruv.
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
Oh,
So was it
with
helpful? Did you go through
expressions?
it?
Yes, sir. Like in happy scenario, sad
Yes.
scenario, and then confused.
My favorite one out of all the idioms is cute little bundle of joy and makes my heart smile. So I can simply say that my nephew is a cute little bundle of joy, and whenever I lift her, she makes my heart smile. So idiomatic language does not have to be too fancy or too complicated. You can use basic, simple words and explain what you want to say or convey your message precisely. And anyone can understand if they think thoroughly. I just used the word cute little bundle of joy, and I used makes my heart smile. That's it. That's an idiom. Alright, it's written in the PDF. Just make sure that you go through it. So we are done with reading, writing, speaking, and then comes listening. There is a website that I recommend to my students. Let me share it here. There is a website called ESL Lab. So ESL Labs. So this is the website. You can see the first link. And what I recommend to beginners is they should complete these activities from easy and intermediate, and then they should try the difficult ones. And for the more advanced students, I'd ask them to directly start from intermediate, difficult, and then go to the academic part. I'll simply open the academic one and I'll show you how it goes. So these are concise audios. These are short audio messages in which they have asked MCQs. So all you have to do is click any of them and they will take you to a page which is an audio of just under 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So they have pre-listening exercises where they again share idioms, the things that I was talking about earlier. They have listening exercises where you play this audio and then you click on these answers. I'm just randomly selecting them, but when you make an error, they will explain why exactly you made a mistake, and then you can correct your mistakes. After the exercise is done, there are post-listening exercises, there are vocabulary practice, there are many things. So this is one of the best applications to improve your listening skills. So I personally recommend this to everyone. Got it. So it's called ESL Lab. You just need to search for ESL Lab. You should be able to find this website. So far so good?
Yes, sir.
And if I'm going too fast, do let me know, because for me, I'm just conveying what I already know. For you guys, it might be a new information, so you can slow me down. I can go slower. I can go much slower than this. And if you're comfortable with this pace, we can go even faster.
No, it's all good.
Bono, I did not get that part.
It's good. You don't have to change your speed.
Okay, still your voice is... Did you say
You
that?
don't have to change your speed.
Okay, so you are comfortable with this speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So that's listening. These are the question types. There are different modes, because when it is asked in part 1, it is the easiest one, because you just need to remember one word each for every single question. But as you progress to section 2, section 3, the length of the options in MCQs increases, and that is why it gets challenging. It's all about your memory, how well you can remember these things. And yes, as I mentioned in the reading module, it doesn't matter which strategy you share, the students should be able to find the answers, and they should be able to understand how the format of these questions are. The timing, the sections, these are the obvious ones. There are 4 sections, a mixture of dialogue and monologue. You get 40 questions which you need to solve in 30 minutes, and every single question is asked in sequence. So only after they answer the first question will they share the second question's answer. So everything is in sequence. For computer based, you do not get an extra transfer time, but for paper based test, you get extra 10 minutes to transfer the answers. Clear? And
Yeah.
let me explain a few things that are usually not discussed about, the general things, important abbreviations. We'll start with important abbreviations, because this is something that many students have no idea about. The first thing is, of course, TRF, or so called the test report form, and this is what it looks like. So this is a form, or your so-called your certificate, which expires after 2 years. And earlier in the days, they used to send a physical copy, but now they are just sending it as digital copies, and which is available on your login page, the ID password that you set when you book your test. These are the two terms that many people, many students have no idea about, and I have not seen institutes explaining what these things are. The first one is EOR, that stands for Enquiry on Results. So it's just like paper checking. Whenever you take your test and you know that you performed well, but for some reason you did not get good bands or expected band score. For instance, you were expecting a 7 and you only scored 5.5. You can go for an EOR. So during an EOR, these are the things that you need to make sure that you take care of. This is called an IELTS remark. The results are shared within 6 weeks. One thing is that your answer sheet will be marked by a senior examiner, and this is how the format is. So when you submit your answer, they will not check your actual answer sheet. They will take a Xerox of it and they will ask an examiner to check it. And in case of an EOR, the same answer sheet will be Xeroxed. So the brand new answer sheet with no corrections will be Xeroxed, and it will be handed over to a senior examiner. So they can mark it from scratch and they will start to compare the band score. For instance, let's say the first score was 5.5 and the senior examiner scored you a 6 or 6.5. So now your actual bands will be 6.5. And one thing about IDP that I like is they maintain transparency, and they will show in the new TRF form that it was applied for EOR and the band score changed from so and so to so and so. So the universities will know that you applied for EOR, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that they are showing transparency. All right. Here is an important part. If you apply for an individual module for EOR, the fee will be exactly the same when you applied for multiple modules. So I recommend that you should apply for all 4 modules. When it comes to listening and reading, 99% your bands will not change because it is checked twice already, and there is no chance that your score will improve or go down. The most important part is writing and speaking. It will be re-verified and reassessed, and if you deserve better bands, of course they will score you. One thing is, your bands will never ever decrease when it comes to EOR. So EOR means Enquiry on Results. I'll just repeat as I got a message from Manroop. So EOR means Enquiry on Results. It's just like paper checking. In India, it costs something around 11,000 rupees, and you can apply for rechecking if you are not satisfied with the examiner's marking criteria or marking. If you think that they scored you less, you can apply for EOR. Again, if your bands improve by even a 0.5, they will refund the entire money. Like you'll get your entire refund. But if your bands remain the same, you'll lose all the money. So only apply for EOR after consulting to your tutor. Don't apply it right away by yourself, because tutors know what your desired score or your deserving score is, and then you should go for it. Is this clear about EOR?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go for OSR. Do you guys have any idea what OSR is? It has been recently introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One skill retake.
Perfect. One skill
Yeah.
retake.
We can take the one skill exam again, just paying extra payment. It's only for computer-based exams, not paper version of it.
Perfect.
This is what I have heard about it, but some people say with IDP in Uzbekistan, for paper-based exam, we can take one skill retake exams.
So,
I don't exactly know, but it costs extra money for that. Yeah.
it depends on the test center that you're applying. So if your test centers accept one skill retake, only then you can take it. So you need to do your due diligence in prior before you even take the test. And this differs from country to country. There are also countries where online IELTS is allowed, but it is not well recognized around the world. For countries where it is not possible, for instance, islands or places that are isolated from the actual world, for them, IDP has this option of taking an online exam. You can sit at your home and take the test, but the problem is this is not generally accepted. So before you even apply for an online IELTS exam, you should make sure that you verify it. This is different from a computer-based. Computer-based test has to be taken at an IDP center or a British Council center. So if you look at the major difference between Enquiry on Results or one skill retake is, let's say that you know that you messed up during the test maybe for speaking, maybe for writing, reading, or listening, then you can go for OSR. And as Jamshid mentioned, it is as of now applicable for computer based test at a test center that offers the OSR feature. So if it is from a test center that does not accept this, then it doesn't make any sense. It should be applied within 60 days, and original TRF, that means the test report form, and the new test report form after OSR is also valid. So both of them are exactly the same. And again, as I said, they will maintain transparency. They will mention that OSR was applied and this was the previous score, this is the updated score. Is it clear? These are the abbreviations that students sometimes do not understand. We'll talk about commonly asked questions, and then I think you guys should have a clear understanding. Many students ask, should I go for the paper-based test or computer-based test? So, Bonu, what would you recommend students when you are asked this question?
Okay, if it's for the first time, then I would recommend paper-based, because they can see, especially reading, they can see both of them, and they can flip the pages easily, and of course, and especially for writing as well. For example, for me, typing on the keyboard is difficult, so I would rather prefer paper-based one.
Any other reasons that you would recommend? Jamshid, do you have a take on this one? Why paper or why pen? Jamshid, would you like to share your perspective? I think he's unavailable. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. I personally believe that it doesn't matter. Yeah, yes, Jamshid, go ahead.
You asking something? I was
Yeah,
answering
that's
my
okay.
father.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on this? Paper-based or pencil? Sorry, paper-based or
Paper
computer-based?
based is right. I guess depending on how we can handle it, like if you are good at typing and doing things on computer, I would highly recommend doing things in computer, because I have heard from many IELTS instructors who got like band 9 or with high score, they usually take computer-based tests because they can know their result much more faster, and just it is much more comfortable for them. For example, when it comes to writing, you can edit things, and if you have time, we can just change some of the parts. But with the paper-based test, that's somehow difficult, and we can't do that with writing. And also in the reading test, they say it's much more easier because I have never done this kind of things, but I have I saw this people are doing this much more faster than only just doing and transferring the answer to the answer sheet. It's kind of different. But if there's one case to bonus it for the first time, maybe the paper version test can be good, so that they can see and feel the atmosphere, the environment of the exam. Yeah, they can just feel that there's so many people taking the exam, and just they can listen at the same time. They can't cheat because there are some invigilators. Yeah. Yeah, this is the things that I can share. But yeah, basically depending on how we can handle and just which is much more comfortable for us, we can choose it. Yeah.
Okay. So I would say that it doesn't matter if you're a new or a beginner to this test, or if you're an advanced user. It depends on your ability to write better or type better. So if you're someone who still has to look at your keyboard to find the keys, then you should not take the computer-based test. If you can effortlessly type without thinking, you can just focus on your ideas and convey it just like speaking. If you can type like that, only then you should take the computer based test. One of my students recently completed the writing task in 35 minutes, and this person had extra 25 minutes just to proofread. The person was done with writing task 1 as well as 2, just because this person practiced a lot. So he started with 22 or 23 words per minute, and within a couple of months his typing speed was 40 words a minute. And for 25 minutes he only did one thing, that is proofreading, and I shared exactly what the examiners are looking for, and he corrected all the mistakes, and he ended up scoring a 7 in writing task. Alright, so it depends on your personal caliber, your own skills in terms of computer or paper based. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages. For paper based, I've personally seen that reading module is easier on a paper, because you get a pencil, you can do all the scribbling and everything on a piece of paper. That's not possible on a computer. You just get one highlighter of one color. Yes, you can take notes, but it is not as efficient as a paper based. On the other hand, when it comes to writing task, as Jamshid mentioned or Bonu mentioned, we can do a lot of editing. We can type much faster than we can write. Another advantage is on computer based, your results are declared in just 3 to 4 days. On paper based test, when it comes to pen and pencil or paper based test, you have to wait for 13 to 14 days. So there are many advantages, many disadvantages. So you need to weigh the pros and cons before you finalize your decision. As I mentioned, a simple way to check if you are eligible for a computer based test is to check if you are still finding the keys on a keyboard. If so, do not take the computer based test. And I'm not saying that you cannot. You can of course practice using typing.com. You can, once you are done with the key strokes, you know where exactly the keys and the fingers go, you can practice on a better website called Monkey Type. I'll quickly give you a tour of it.
Teacher.
Yeah.
Yes. Teacher.
Yes, sir.
I'm first time to participate this lesson, and your explain
Hold on.
this lesson is
Hold on, please hold on.
very
Your voice is not clear. Can you
yes.
connect the microphone once again or speak again?
Yes, I'm first time for participating this lesson, and your explanation is very well. And for this diagram, how can I get this information about this diagram that you show us now?
You're talking about the diagram, the PDF, the mind map?
Yes.
Yeah, you can drop me a DM, I'll
Yes.
send you the files.
Yes.
You can drop me a DM, just send me a message. You can find me on the internet. Just send me a hi and I'll send you this PDF.
Yes.
Even
Can you
better.
give me?
Even better, let's do one thing. I just had this thought while I was speaking. So we have this section called boringacademy.com/mindmaps.
Yes.
So we have this section dedicated to mind maps. What I'll do is I'll add the PDF that I was sharing over here, so anyone can access it from here. So these are the personal mind maps that I've shared with my friends. So these are the things that we can do after 10th standard, 12th standard. These are my perspective or my research on religion across the world. And this is about the entire earth. So how it started, starting from the Big Bang all the way to the dinosaur age. Everything is shared in detail. And it goes all the way to the current modern era. So we are here in the present, and this is the future. So what I'll do is I'll share a mind map of IELTS.
I will search.
over here.
Yes. I will search in the Google.
Hmm.
I will search in the Google. I will research in the Google.
So you can put this website, so I'll write it over here. So go to boringacademy.com/mindmaps. So this is what you need to search.
Yes. Let's take a photo. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
And
I
thank you.
I can get this diagram by this site.
Hmm.
Yes.
So yes, I am
Yes, thank
uploading
you.
it as we speak. And thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
this wonderful suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you for you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. If you guys give me a minute, I can do it right now. Just hold it, right? Just give me a minute, I'll finish it right now. So I am not from a background who knows coding and editing and these things. I did learn it manually. So sometimes I break the website, sometimes it goes offline. That means I'm messing up with the code. And it's done. So we should name it as IELTS overview, and that's it. I'm not going to write anything else right now. So special thanks to Nazdar who suggested this, and we already have it on our website. Done?
Thank you. That's clear.
I guess you misspelled overview. Just can you check?
Yep. I did. And it is done. And thank you, Jamshed, for correcting me. Yep, it's done. So whenever you guys have any questions, any queries, you can first search here. Most of the answers are given here. Okay, this is different. This is what I'm referring to. So this is all the general information, what IELTS stands for, eligibility of this test, the founder. Cambridge was found in the year 1209, by the way, if you guys did not know. So this is how old Cambridge English is. Who conducts test centers and all the things that we just mentioned. Everything is here. So this is simply an overview. This does not cover all the comprehensive things, of course, but you can get a clear idea. All right. So that was the 1 hour session on overview of IELTS. Yes, Jamshed.
No, I mean, oh, okay. Can you tell me those website? I mean, listening website. Once again, I forget that. You can send the link to your channel if possible,
Yes,
or
yeah,
just
yes,
tell me.
yes.
Teacher,
Yes, dear.
can you recommend any books for each skills?
Any books for
For each skills.
each
For each
skills?
skill in IELTS.
So you cannot master listening skill by reading. So Yes, I can recommend a few things for all the skills. Let's start with, okay, where is the screen? Yeah. So let's start with listening. I would personally recommend that the more you listen, the better it is. So it does not have to be necessarily something academic or anything. You can simply watch movies, you can watch web series and whatnot. And by the way, we have everything over here. So I don't even have to say it. I can show it to you from the same mind map.
Mm-hmm.
So if you scroll down, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, I messed up this one. Anyway, so here are all the suggestions that you need to improve your communication skills. And communication skills is one of the many skills that I've shared to improve your chances of getting a job in the future. So this is where I was. What next? I went to this section and over here. So if you notice, I've shared all the things that you need to know. Can you see this?
Yeah.
So there are tips for improving your grammar. So I've not shared comprehensively, but these are the sequence. This is the sequence that you need to follow. So you need to start with the rules of capitalization, learn articles, learn the rules for plurals. You can Google these things. These things are available on the internet. Then parts of speech, then the tenses, then punctuations, and then finally the sentence structure. If a person has knowledge of these things in grammar, it's sufficient to produce sentence naturally and whenever needed. Right? These are the websites for learning spellings. I've shared my personal website where I have added a lot of spellings. It's from vocabulary.com. So when you open vocabulary.com, make sure you log in. So once you are logged in, you'll be able to see a bookmark over here. I'm logged out. This is not the ID that I personally use. And once you're logged in, just click on spelling bee. So you'll be able to practice these spellings. And this is a list of commonly misspelled words. There are 99 spellings as of now. And only after you log in, you should be able to see the rest. Then we have again vocabulary.com. This is my personal list of words that I collect for my students. There are 245 words as of now, and these are all at C1 and C2 level. Then we have tips for improving your pronunciation. These are the channels I recommend. This is one channel that I recommend. Then it comes to these things, listening skills, and yeah, everything is here, so you don't have to go anywhere. Got it?
Yes.
Perfect. So as I said, I messed up the code. I'm not sure what I did, but they say this is full screen now as compared to this one. Anyway.
But
yeah, yes, Bono.
I asked about teaching students who are now about to start IELTS class.
You can start with reading, as I mentioned.
Yeah, I know, but what about books?
Book reading, yeah. So when it comes to books, I would recommend a book named The Alchemist. This is for
No,
absolute beginners.
teacher,
So,
you misunderstood me.
okay.
I'm asking you, what kind of book do you recommend to teach students writing?
Okay.
I need to hand over some books.
If I search for British Council C1 reading, these are the articles I would recommend everyone to read to understand and analyze what type of writing you need to do in order to score C1 level. Now, am I answering the question? This is what students should read to analyze and understand what C1 level is. So if you read this, you can replicate it in your writing.
Yes, but they are not yet to be. They aren't even B1.
So you should start with B2. So if you think that a student is at B1, do not ask them to read B1. Ask them to read B2. And for students at B2, I would recommend C1. So you need to alleviate elevate your skills. You need to push those students so that they learn something.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree. But what about PDF books? Because uh, not everybody has phones,
Mhm.
so I should make sure that they all have PDF, not paper-based books. Paper book.
Physical books. For
Yeah.
beginners, I would not recommend Cambridge volumes because it is a mixture of all these skills. It starts from B1 all the way to C1 and C2. So, of course, Cambridge is not recommended. For them, I do have a book, but it is very beginners, like very, very absolute beginners. Let me find it out. So, are you talking about students at A1, A2 level, or are they at B1?
No, no. I'm giving them some listening lessons.
Hmm.
I'm not teaching them how to listen, but I'm just giving them materials. I mean, listening questions, and they are doing it.
Hmm.
It's now section 1 listening,
Hmm.
and they are finding like 10, 9, 8 correct answers out of 10.
Okay. Okay, let me do one thing. I do have a few resources on my computer, so I'll have to go through it. I'll find it out and I'll send it to you. So I'll send you at different levels: A1, A2, A3, B1, B2.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we'll get this session here. There were less questions directly related to IELTS, so we covered the overview of IELTS, and most of all, we covered different skills that are pertinent to IELTS. So our next session is by the end of this month. Make sure that you come here with your questions, and I'll be more than happy to solve them.
Okay. We're very pleased with your answers.
Thank you so much. I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining, all of you. You spent one entire hour of your life, and I tried my best to share as much value as possible. One thing is, if you guys noticed, whatever you guys asked, I try my best to share it. And if you ask my students, this is exactly what I teach during the sessions. And some students do ask me, why do you share all these things for free, and that too on the website? Like, you're giving it openly, then who will come to you as a student? So my answer is,
Yeah.
knowledge should be free. Knowledge is something that should always be free. The more knowledge you have, the better it is. But the thing is, if you ask for someone's time, if you ask for their guidance, personal one-to-one or one-to-many guidance, then if you charge them, that's completely different than what we are doing right now. For instance, I am here on during this session, and the next time I'll be available is next week, so after a couple of days. So there are people who would need my assistance every single day. For them, these sessions are not the right ones. For them, it's better to come on board and personally learn from me. But during these sessions, yes, I try my best to share everything as much as possible. The only limitation is the time that we have. We don't have unlimited time.
Yeah.
Okay?
For sure.
So I try my best to make these sessions as valuable as possible, and I'm trying to share this on multiple platforms. As of now, as I'm speaking, this is currently broadcasted on YouTube as well as just YouTube. I forgot to start the live button on Facebook. Even I did the same thing the last time, but the next time it will be live on Facebook as well as YouTube. And I'm trying to stream it on LinkedIn as well, but I have no idea how it's done. I'm still figuring it out. So we'll keep it here, and thank you so much for joining. Wishing you a
Okay.
wonderful
Thank
day.
you, teacher.
You're most welcome, dear.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Take care, Jamshed.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
You're most welcome. If you still have any questions, any queries, you can stay back, or else we are done with the session.
Thank you, sir.
Hey Chirag, what's up?
How are you, sir? I'm fine.
So,
I sent message something.
okay,
Please give me answer after the session.
definitely. I'll get back to you soon.
Okay, sir.
Right? Yeah. All right then. Chirag, Nikki, Jamshid, Nasdar, Dhruv. We'll end the session here. Take care and see you guys next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for explanation. Thank you, teacher.
You're most welcome, dear.
So thanks for your suggestion for reading. That worked out. Yeah, the score is being 31 plus.
I hope this helps.
Yes, it helped.
You're most welcome. Kev, my dear, you are very, very late. We are about to end this session now.
Yes, sir. Sorry for later.
That's totally fine. We have this session recorded. I did go through the overview of IELTS. I did share a lot of things. And before I end the session, we have a mind map. So if you go to
Yes, sir.
boringacademy.com/mind maps, you should be able to get the
Yes, sir.
content.
I already know about mind maps in our website.
Perfect. And do make sure that you check out this section about what next and this one here. Communication
Sir,
skills.
sir, did you update the website?
I think I did. I think I
Okay,
broke
okay,
it a
sir. I
couple
will
of
check.
times.
Yes,
As
I
of
will
now,
check, sir.
the code is broken. I am not able to edit the footer section. So even if I want to, I'm not able to make any changes. So this section is stuck. I'm not able to change a single thing. Anyway, so we'll end this session here. Thank you so much for joining. This video, this live session will be shared on YouTube. I forgot to turn on the live on Facebook, but the next time I'll make sure that I do it properly. All right. Chalo guys, take care. Good night.
Okay. Good night, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, dear. Good night, Dhruv.